City Hall Plaza, it's always too big, too empty, too grand. There are too many things it doesn't have enough of. For example, enormous sidewalk cafes with parasols over the tables, men playing flutes with small crowds listening, people making speeches about how the communists are stealing our bodily fluids, moonlight concerts on hot nights. In other words, life. Robert Campbell, 1973.
This is a space where people gather from all the different neighborhoods throughout Boston. They come to celebrate, they come to protest. The plaza was in need of update from a sustainability standpoint and most importantly from an accessibility standpoint, and the project achieved some of those goals.
What we successfully did was turn what was a harsh brick area that really served us well when we won championships, which we do quite often, but it really didn't lend itself well to give people a place to just enjoy different aspects of the plaza.
They really wanted something transformational. Each area has its own unique challenge that has to come up with your own unique design solution, construction approach, and everything else.
We started by stripping off the first layer of the plaza and take us back in time of kind of the history of this area. Behind me, you can see in the play slope here are granite slabs. We repurposed what we could find below the earth and kind of give an ode back to what was here before.
One of the cool things, we tried to create different zones, and so we've had the ability to have a lot of different activities going on at once. Everybody's here using it, and it all seems to work.
So Hanover Walk marks the entrance to Boston City Hall Plaza. It's really the open promenade that leads you through the rest of the space. From this walk, you can access the new north entrance, the big playground feature, and all the other program spaces along the way too. The mountainous steps that we had before now get translated into one contiguous path that everybody uses.
If you have a fire truck or an emergency vehicle that needs to traverse from Cambridge to Congress Street quicker, they can open up this route and they can drive the large vehicles down this walk.
A lot of the magic of what makes this project so special is the complexity of what's happening below grade. The Green Line tunnel was within inches, in some cases, of our proposed surface. Just thinking about all the nuances of how you build on top of a tunnel that's just within a foot of that proposed grade was really complex.
The Civic Pavilion originally began as a building that we needed to house the systems that supported what was going on in the plaza. It became a front door for the city on Congress Street and a place where we have staff meetings, trainings, and there's also public access available there.
I think my first instinct was people are going to want to get married here, which I can't say about any of my previous projects.
The idea here was to create a playground that tapped into some of the elements of the building. And so we used a lot of the same concrete blocks that take on the character of the concrete in the building and tapping into that idea of the Brutalist building reconstructed in a different way here.
Families are always here at the playground, and it's become maybe the most attended or used playground in the city of Boston.
The slide itself is actually designed for children. Kids really love it and it works for them. However, there was a famous video clip where one of our Boston police officers went down the slide and went a little bit faster.
We embrace it. It's a landmark now. It's known as Cop Slide. We just needed to do additional education to remind folks that this was intended for children 12 and under.
It was a challenging PR nightmare for a few weeks. One of the main features of the Plaza project was opening up the new north entrance. And so this new north entrance now provides you direct access to that public level inside the building.
It was actually closed after September 11th for security reasons. It was never a comfortable space for their employees. They were often complaining of being cold. So we put a new face of glazing to essentially make a vestibule. People have strong feelings about Brutalist buildings, but one thing that has not helped them out is they're often dark because they do date from energy crisis, late 60s, early 70s. So the north entry did receive LED upgrades throughout.
Seeing people sort of meander through the plaza versus shoot through as quickly as possible is a real testament to the success of the space.
Here I am transforming the city of Boston, the City Hall Plaza, but I think in return, this space transformed me as well as a person.
Over time, we've realized that public spaces have taken on a different kind of need and a different kind of approach. And a lot of that was just making places that were more inviting and welcoming to people.
It's paid dividends, beyond, I think, what we could have imagined.
The sky's the limit for what we can do.
The plaza's the other problem. The plaza's too big for anything but the once in a generation when the Bruins win the Stanley Cup and a mob of people fills it up. It needs to be I'd like to see homeless shelters erected there. I'd like to see a market square. I'd like to see the Haymarket move in. It's a great big public space that has no public purpose.